So, yeah, a lot of people are upset about the emergency. We've got an emergency here in Saskatchewan. It's an emergency, you see? Just like in Alberta, it's an emergency. There's so many emergencies. I just posted a chart Mark Friesen sent me on my Instagram page. You can go check that out. And take notice of because you see the ICU is being overwhelmed. It's just too much. We're destroying everything. The numbers are substantially less than last year, actually, by the thousands. It's about 1,100 total. 1,100 total less ICU visits 2020, 2021 than 2019, 2020. Don't let reality get in the way because it's an emergency, pandemic. So, of course, restrictions, masks, the whole thing. We're doing Australia, guys. We're doing the same thing. Lockdown on, lockdown off. Lockdown on, lockdown off. I saw something my friend Lee posted earlier that I thought was pretty funny. Jason Kenney's little podium there. Open for summer. She said, you should pay attention because when he said open for summer, he literally meant open for the summer. And then it's over. Every province is going to do this. There's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to run to. We're on our own, which is good because these people are dead weight anyway. These politicians, these elected, everybody we got. It's they've decided that they're just going to do it. They're just going to kneel and kiss the ring, and we're going to play this stupid hokey pokey game for forever, I guess. Hey guys. Until we put a stop to it, and one way we could do that is the election coming here on Monday. That's our last real, effort that we can send a message to these people. This is basically a referendum on all of this because, as I've said before, there's a lot of options, but there's only one choice. Do you want to live this way forever or not? Because this is how it's going to be. It's going to be like this. And your life is going to get harder and harder and harder and more restricted until you take the drugs. We live in a world now where the government thinks that, and the media thinks, and the celebrity endorsements and everybody else, that it's okay to intimidate, coerce, and manipulate people into taking drugs they don't want. Are you okay with that? If you're not, you need to vote and support and help the PPC. They're the only party that's even trying. They're the only ones. Everybody else, yes, Aaron O'Toole especially. If you didn't catch it, he said, this is no longer your father's Conservative Party. Oh, how you got that right, Boston Cream O'Toole. You're not conservatives at all. He said they're diverse and they're progressive now. You see, go watch him. Go listen to him talk. It's disgusting. He's Justin Trudeau. There's literally no difference. Their platforms are identical. And all the other things that used to be, really upsetting and damaging and troubling, like the climate tax, the mass migration, all of that stuff. Yeah, he's on board with all that stuff too. It's all exactly the same. But more than that, they're okay with creating a segregated two-tier society. All these people that cried and moaned about Black Lives Matter and all of this stuff, equality and so on, are now pushing segregation and a two-tier society. Isn't that ironic? And the only people actually fighting for actual equality among all of the citizens in this country, they're being called the racist Nazis, blah, 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 the extremists and all this shit, right? And I want to take to task someone else who, I don't like to talk about this guy because he gets enough attention and that's what feeds his, it's good that his ego is so gigantic because he's only about 4'5" himself. There's a lot of problems I have with Mr. Sky. First, most and almost entirely, totally, that I'm pretty sure, unbeknownst to him because he's not a very smart guy, that he's being controlled by the bad guys. You know what he's doing? He's telling people not to vote. In fact, go spoil your ballot and vote for me, vote for Chris Guy, when he's not selling his $250 limited edition shirts, by the way. That's what he's telling people to do. Vote for him, spoil their ballots. and not vote. Why would he do that? Well, I'm going to give you another example of something I find very suspicious. He's taken a lot of his time to, rather than try and unite Canadians and rather trying to educate people and fire and give people some motivation and keep them strong and in this very difficult emotional time we're all going through, he's taken it upon himself to just basically attack Max Bernier, Randy Hillier, and the PPC party. The only ones against the lockdowns, the vaccine mandates, and so on and so forth. Why would he do that? Well, because, as Mark Friesen has said very accurately, if they win a bunch of seats, what's the purpose of Chris Sky anymore? The ultimate grift ends with that because they don't need him anymore. And here's another thing. I'm from Nova Scotia. That's my home province. My family lives there. I travel there a lot to visit my children and my family and so on. And every time I do, I have to isolate for 14 days. 14 days of self-isolation. And if I don't, I mean, the Mounties check up on you, right? They make you fill out paperwork and all of this stuff, where you're going to be, how long you're going to be, like phone numbers, addresses, all of this stuff. And they're going to come check up on you. And if you're not there when they come look for you, there's some big fines. And Chris Sky went to Nova Scotia, where Max Bernier could not go because of the 14-day isolation rule. He's campaigning, right? He would be stuck there for 2 weeks and essentially torpedo his entire campaign, so he can't do that. Chris Sky goes to Nova Scotia and gets a fucking police escort to Citadel Hill to do his little "How awesome am I" speech. Don't vote. Don't fight for your country. Just go to realchrisguy.com and buy my limited edition t-shirts. And then leaves the province the same day without being arrested, without being fined, without anything like that. Isn't that strange? I find that a little bit strange. The man is literally doing the work of the global establishment, the Chinese, all these, ensuring that people stay on the couch, don't participate, don't get involved, and don't even try to upset the balance. Don't even try to unseat the Liberals or the Conservatives or get any real goddamn human beings in that building. That's what he's doing. And he thinks he's the good guy. Buy my shirts! Go to realchrisguy.com, $250 limited edition shirt. Come on. Throwing votes away? This is the last attempt we have before things get really insane. If this, if we can't cover any ground here, then we're screwed. And he would rather have you just let them have it. We're not gonna fight. We're not gonna fight for the electoral nothing. No, we're just gonna let the Liberals just take it. Don't even vote. Don't even try. Don't even bother. Just give it to them. That's probably the most cucked thing I can imagine. I'm not even gonna fight for it. I'm just gonna let them take the election. Stay home. Rip up the ballot. Vote for me. The most important election in national history. And even that is about him. Don't listen to that fool. He's a grifter. He's a fraud. And probably unbeknownst to him, again, because I don't think he's very smart, he's probably has somebody in his ear, encouraging him to do what he's doing. Like this Dr. Z character. Who is that? There's a lot of weirdness about this guy that people don't seem to want to, look into. But I was talking to someone else today. They said, a bunch of my friends were going to vote PPC. And you know what? Chris Sky told them not to. So they ripped up their ballots instead and spoiled their ballots and wrote Chris Sky on their ballots and all this kind of shit. The man is intentionally sabotaging the only patriot movement in the country. And because it's not about him. Because if they win 10 seats, 5 seats, you're going to go, oh, damn. What would have happened had he thrown his weight behind them and taken his following and his platform and supported them? How much better could they have done? Because then they don't need him anymore. Because his whole grift is this anti-lockdown stuff. And if the PPC gets in there and this shit comes to an end, there's no more. We don't need him anymore. Nobody has any use for him, right? He's entirely self-interested. It's goddamn ridiculous. So that's all I have to say with that fool. The guy's entirely all about himself. I don't have my medals on me right now, but I put my neck on the line for this country once already. I will do it again. And now we've got an emergency. We've got a fake again. Here we go again. This fall's going to get, man, things are about to get real fun here. Alberta, you see in the comments, you seeing how people are talking? Not happy. That's a euphemism. That's the most polite way I can say is that they're not happy. Same here. This is all we got left. We'll see what happens on Monday. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm cautiously optimistic about it. We'll see. I think the Conservatives are going to get slept on here. They're not even campaigning. That's what. Okay, one more thing before I get out of here. The Conservative Party, for anybody that still thinks that they care about or worried about anything at all. Again, they're pro-vax passport. They're like, the provinces can have segregate society. That's fine. We don't have any problem with that. We'll even give them some money to do it. Ha 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 ha. I'm Aaron O'Toole. I'm a Boston cream donut with a teleprompter. They're not even campaigning. They're not doing rallies or speeches or anything. They think they own you already. They think they already have your vote. We don't even need to do anything. Psh. We can just stay home and do a couple of TV ads. We're going to do the bare minimum and just phone it in. Because we don't think we even need to try and win your support. That's how little respect they have for you. They're a joke. And they're traitors. And they're not Canadian. There's been no rallies, no nothing. Meanwhile, Bernier's been going non-stop around the clock. And I'm going to be there on Monday at the election night thing with all these guys. It is an honor and a privilege. This is for all the marbles, guys. This is the whole thing. This is it. If we don't get some ground here, well, we'll talk about that after the fact,